So briefly, yeah, let's define what a centripetal energy is, and also its opposite, centrifugal. We have not been taught this in school. So all of you watching this, all I ask you to do your best is listen from your heart. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. This is something you already know. This is in you. If we can't understand how nature works, we'll have a really hard time understanding how we work, because we are nature. Nature's inside of us and outside of us. We're one with it all. So in nature and then within us, we have the two forces of centripetal, which is the feminine energy. It's about cooling, condensing, contracting, about purification, levitation, okay? The centrifugal energy is the masculine, which is based around heat, expansion, explosion, leading to erosion and death and decay. In nature, it's more of a balance of roughly 65 feminine, 35 masculine, 65 centripetal, 35 centrifugal, okay? It fluctuates, it's a teeter-totter. Some forest, you'll see, there's a lot more death and decay. That's the masculine forces doing its job. It's giving. And in a balanced forest, though, you see roughly 35% decay, rotted trees, vegetation dying, rotting, feeding the feminine, feeding the growth of levitation. So even within us, this is something we need to learn to understand. If we are not balanced in our masculine, feminine, our centripetal and centrifugal, the masculine needs to learn to give in order to receive. The feminine within us needs to learn to receive in order to give, okay? This is where many times we can get out of flow. We're giving way too much and we're not allowing to receive. We're out of the balance of the masculine and feminine, okay? One thing that I'll share, that I feel, this is where, as the human race, that we have become so far out of balance in the masculine and feminine within ourselves. And what happens within us as a human race, the environment's a reflection. So this is why we're seeing so much erosion, death and decay, pollution, contamination, which is all about death and decay, and becoming quite out of balance. Well, that has happened because we have become quite out of balance with our masculine and feminine energies, right? And there's been a purpose and a reason for it all. But the feminine has been quite bashed for thousands of years, right? The feminine energies have been really trashed, bashed. It's been the patriarchal hierarchy masculine energies that's been going on. And this is where we're at, this massive turning point in history right now. We've moved into the new golden age, and in this new golden age, the divine feminine within us is going to start waking up more and more. The divine feminine is going to start becoming the real powerhouse that it is. It'll be a little stronger, harder for men even to really do this, because men have been so heavily programmed with, oh, you don't cry, you don't show your emotions. And so we are going to have to learn to allow these emotions to come up. And this feminine essence, being more of a nurturing, loving, caring man, right? This is super important right now. My teacher told me this 22 years ago. It was going to happen. The frequencies of the planet are going to rise. And those of us who cannot get out of the head and move more into the heart, we're going to have a really challenging time, because we're going to be so out of frequency from Mother Earth going through her transition and her ascension, right? So this is the time for us men to really learn to surrender to this feminine side of ourselves. And I feel back to water, one thing I know from years of research and testing, when you drink this water, it balances the hemispheres in a tremendous way of the right and left brain hemisphere, which is the balancing of the masculine and the feminine. The evolution of all of existence on this planet is related, evolution of the human race and evolution of everything is related directly to water. Humans don't evolve from being smarter. That's not how we evolve through consciousness, right? And this is why water is the major player in the shifting of consciousness and consciousness changing, okay? How I can describe in a way that, so when we pull a carrot out of the ground, the water in that carrot, we eat that carrot. We perspire some of that out, we urinate it out, more evolved than what it was before that carrot was grown. We die, our water goes back into the cycle of water that's on this planet, more evolved than what it was before we were here. Everything in the universe has a yin-yang. And the hydrogen is the feminine, the oxygen is the masculine. What happens when you slice an apple and you set it out on the counter? It starts oxidizing, right? Turning brown, erosion, death, leading towards decay eventually if you leave it there long enough, right? So that's the part of the masculine of centrifugal energy, right? The hydrogen atom is the feminine aspect of water. Hydrogen is in every gas, every other gas. There's a portion of hydrogen in it. So hydrogen is the major player. And it is about, levitation. What's hydrogen do? It levitates. You put a balloon, it floats up. Well, back to that energy of the tree growing up, the levitation, right? We are these magical, powerful beings, and I feel we are what was known as the rainbow bodies. When we step into our rainbow bodies, and a part of assisting to really fully go into our rainbow body is drinking full spectrum water. That's a strong belief I have, and that I can say that from 20 years of experience of drinking this water, going from this very egotistical, macho fish captain. I was a captain of a 180-foot ship with a 21-man crew. And so I had to play the role. I had to play the role of the heave the anchor, set the sails, swap the deck. I had to play that role, But I was wearing the mask, I know that now. But when I started drinking the water, this alive water, I started, not consciously, but I realized it years later, after I did tests, I started realizing this is balancing my hemispheres in my brain, it's balancing my masculine and feminine, and now I can fully honor my feminine side and not be afraid to share it and show it. It's actually the true powerhouse in me, is my feminine. It's not my masculine side. My masculine kicks ass, can get a lot of stuff done and all of that, and I honor it, but the real powerhouse in me is my goddess feminine side. Back to when we understand that water is this living, breathing, conscious mother of all life substance, when we are mainly water, by molecular weight, we are 99.99%, literally. Yeah. By physical, we're like roughly 75. The planet's roughly 75%. But when you drink full spectrum water, it is phenomenal on what happens with the brain hemispheres going into balance, the biophoton field enhancing tremendously, the chakra systems going into alignment and getting stronger. So we are literally energy beings. That's something we forgot. Everything is energy. Everything's about frequency, vibration, energy, and resonance. And we are literally liquid crystal beings, in my opinion. We are mainly water, and we are crystalline. And that's where we want to get to this time we're in right now. We want to get less of this dense, carbon-based, old humans going out, new human coming in, which are going to be much more of the light, liquid crystal light beings that we are. And drinking liquid crystal water is the key to becoming more light and less dense, in my belief. And not only mine, many others that are waking up to this. So water plays a role in this. It's not the only role, of course, but water plays a big role in this. It is huge. I mean, we have hit this It's roughly a 26,000 year cycle. I mean, we have all these smaller cycles and larger cycles, but we have just, December 21st of 2020, we just moved fully. We moved into the golden age. We've moved out of the Piscean age into the Aquarian age. And so the rules of the game have all changed now. The rules have changed. We have another dimension that's accessible to us, the fifth dimension. It's here and now. This technology that's come through me, this water technology, and other things that have come through me, but mainly the water technology, it's fifth dimensional. It's heart-based technology that is fifth dimensional. It didn't come from 3D. It didn't come from me. It came through me. And it belongs to the planet. My greater hope is to see that everybody can have full spectrum, healthy water everywhere, for free. Gaia's Fountain, similar to Gaia's Fountain, full spectrum water, provided for people at every truck stop, every rest stop, every airport, every government building, that you gotta go up, fill up your glass, everywhere you go, you got some full spectrum energy of water that's coming like out from a mountain spring. Because when you really understand water, like my innate being does, and even me, Randy, does, you can mimic exactly what mountain spring water coming right out of the ground has, those healing properties to it, those balance of gases and minerals. And also our infrastructure of our municipal water supplies are turned around to where we don't dump all these chemicals in the water. We don't need to. We need to be vortexing and spiraling this water all the way down the pipes. We need to understand frequency, vibration, resonance, light, sound, the effects of how this magnetism rings. There's a series of things that we can do that don't cost a lot of money, that everybody can have healthy, full spectrum water. Bottled water is like basically taking a slave, like we did with the slaves, shackling them and selling them. People drinking water that is basically stagnant, dead water. So it's not hydrating us. Everything is conscious, everything is soul. When we truly wake up to this, the whole game changes. When we hit this place of awareness and consciousness, and many of us we're finally waking up. These new energies of this new golden age are waking us up. They're like, you know this, you know better than to do that. You know that's not cool to throw that garbage out your window. The ultimate to having that kind of high energy water is that centripetal interwinding vortex, because you're tapping into cosmic consciousness. You're tapping into the plasmatic fields, the plasma, the sea of energy that's all around us. You're tapping into those fields. Anybody who's heard of Rudolf Steiner and know his work, he stated this years ago, when you create a deep crater vortex in water, you pull in the super sensible energies of the cosmos. Well, he's exactly right. You also pull in energy from the planet that also comes up into the water, he said. Well, it doesn't surprise me, because over 20 years, I've had about 15 people, certain people that are gifted, they can see the energy goes it goes way up in the sky, out for at least a mile and a half around where they're running, way down into the earth. Yeah, it's been about 15 people over 20 years that have told me basically the same thing. Again, I can't see these things. I still, to this day, I don't have that ability to see this. But see, people that can see into other dimensions, I feel is what seers can do, is they're able to see these other dimensions that are here. They're here. A different dimension is basically just like a different frequency. Fourth dimension is a little higher frequency than third dimension. Fifth dimension is a little higher frequency, a little less dense than the 4D. And because we have this 5D energy here and now, this is why aligning with energies that resonate, that enhance us stepping more into the 5D, not saying we want to be there 24/7, no, but being able to walk between these dimensions and master all of them that are available to us is a really important thing right now. So I feel drinking liquid crystal water, full spectrum water, supports that in a huge way.